Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the 33rd episode of the SuperNova Show. And I am your host, Colton Roberts. And unfortunately for you guys, this is just going to be a one-man show. It might be the same this week as it is next week. It's a little unfortunate, but hey, things happen. So I don't really have any particular subjects to talk about tonight, so we're just gonna vamp. It's been an interesting week. Job interviews, plenty. This one's it's been quite the week. Been reading some Darth Bane. That's always good. We're gonna go ahead and welcome in introductions. It was all good. I'm gonna go ahead and do my review of the Suicide Squad right now. Let's go ahead and move on to movies. The Suicide Squad. It was good. I like John Cena as Peacemaker. I like Idris Elba as Bloodsport. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is always a win. There were definitely moments in the movie that, there's all these characters that are in the trailer that are not hugely in the movie, and that's fine. That happens. It was definitely different, but it was a good movie. All things considered. Next week or 2 weeks from now, we'll go back to Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, in our little review series that we've got. So there's all that. The show this week, this is really weird. I gotta be honest. Just being by myself, this is probably only gonna be like a 20-30 minute episode, so I'm sorry for those out there that like to hear us talk, but I don't have any guests, so it's going to be an interesting day. This week it's been good. Just been watching a lot of things that have been the Suicide Squad. Watched that. Rewatched both editions of Batman vs Superman because I needed to prepare for the podcast. Been watching some Schmodown stuff. And thinking of some Schmodown stuff, I'm cursed. The curse is real, ladies and gentlemen. The curse is real. I don't know what happened. I bet against Ethan Irwin. I chose Paul Oyama, and Ethan Irwin beat him in an Inner Geekdom match, and that is insane. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm glad that everything was right. Amaru got points for his faction, and that's great. Wonderful. But it's a big time mess. So far, today we had or I say today, Friday, as of this recording, we had Ben Bateman versus Perry Nemiroff. Ben Bateman won in sudden death. It was a really close game, 17-16. That was quite the game. So right now, the faction ratings is Quirky Marks with 56 points, The Dungeon with 53 points, Usual Suspects with 48 points, Finstock Exchange with 43 points, Corruption with 36 points, The Den with 30 points, Swag with 15 points, and The Stars with 14 points. So, that that bottom half. And of course, this weekend we will have had the Chandru versus Mike match in California. I have no idea when that actually is going to come out, so that's going to be really interesting. Yeah, and it's really really interesting. I want Chandru to win. Like everything that's been going on in Twitter, like him saying stuff about like Kevin Smets and Rachel Cushing and Mike Kalinowski not being able to defend. I have no problem with any of that. Like, yeah, he probably should have asked Kevin and Rachel's permission to make that post and Mara to be like, hey, I'm going to make this post calling you guys out. You guys cool with that? Because apparently Rachel and Mara have never been really good with storyline stuff. And, I mean, Kevin wouldn't have cared at all. And not like Mike, I don't think he would have cared at all either. It's just hyping up the match. So that was really interesting. But yeah, like just watching that, having that realization. Let's see. Let's move on to TV. What if I'm gonna go a general statement like, hey, I'm here. Spoiler alert. What if happened on Wednesday? It was good. The first episode is about what would happen if Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. Very interesting dynamic. There were some things, and we'll talk more about it next week or in 2 weeks or whatever, with how that dynamic worked with the timeline. Because, you know, in Captain America, the First Avenger, they have a sequence of events that happened in the movie. Like, one of the first events is Red Skull getting the Tesseract. And he starts using it to create weapons. In this universe, he gets it later. I don't know if that is actually later, or if it's just that they showed it to us later. But he didn't make any weapons out of it. Howard Stark got a hold of it, and he made the Ironmonger suit with it, which I think is really interesting, and Steve Rogers wore the suit. So in this universe, Steve Rogers is the first Iron Man, really. Or he's, what do they call it? The Hydra Smasher. That's it. Which, that's pretty interesting. The Hydra Smasher. Yeah. And then, yeah, like, she fights this big tentacle monster, gets sucked through a wormhole. That is the Tesseract, and then later, Nick Fury and Hawkeye open up the Tesseract and do their stuff. So, and she pops out, and she's like, "I had a date," which that's nice that she brought that up. But because she was gonna go dance with Steve Rogers, and now I'm wondering in that universe, which we'll never get to see, and I assume that's like a branch off the Loki timeline of what's happening, because at the end of Loki, all these timelines are exploding outward. But yeah, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah, like I cannot complain at all. Like yeah, so that was good. And then let's talk about some of the Bad Batch. Again, we'll probably talk about this again in 2 weeks, 1 week, however long it is. But guess what? I like the Bad Batch. The season finale was really good. The ending with the group reconvening and most of the batch flying off, that was good. I kind of hate that. Yeah, I did not like that Crosshair didn't go with them, but I understand. Like, that means we'll have more progression for season 2. And then, of course, like, they end, and Namaste, the Kaminoan, she's taken to this facility, which looks a whole lot like Mount Tantus from the Throne Trilogy. Speaking of the Throne Trilogy, here we go. Heir to the Empire. For anyone who doesn't know, Mount Tantus was a facility known as the Emperor's Warehouse. It was where like a bunch of the Emperor's cool projects. He had like cloning cylinders there. He had Luke's hand from Empire Strikes Back, and and like he had a Dark Jedi who oversaw it. And yeah, like Thrawn eventually uses it. He meets the Jedi or the Jedi clone, Joris Seaboth. I've never known how to pronounce that last name, so Seaboth, whatever. But Joris, he gets there, and like I wonder if they're gonna take that, because like they've already taken his like little bit of a warehouse theme, and in the Darth Vader comics, he's got Luke's hand on Exegol. But of course, in The Mandalorian, they've got people trying to clone stuff. So I'm wondering if this is the prototype, and then they took the technology, or if it's just a throw to since Thrawn is going to be in the shows, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, etc. I wonder if this is going to be his way of like, ooh, he'll go back to this mountain and he'll use Namaste will help him build an army so that they'll have some people, while the First Order's off there recruiting and stealing children, he can be over there with the Imperial Remnant building up an army with clones. So, and it could also be like, this could be the steps of Palpatine learning that he can clone himself and do all that. And that could be really interesting. So I can't wait for that. Let's think. Yeah, I don't. Okay, I'll worry about that later. But yeah, like it's really interesting. I know a lot of people have been just like talking about Schmodown stuff. Like I'm really glad the Usual Suspects are doing as well as they have been. Like it's really good that they're doing that well. I'm happy. I hate that my curse has lost Paul Yama the championship or the IG match, and it's lost Dan the world title. That kind of stinks, but hey, it happens. I am that cursed, guys. That cursed. But hey, doesn't mean I'm going to stop making predictions, and that's okay. But yeah, everything is going really well, Schmodown wise, life wise, all of that. Like, yeah, it's been a very interesting week. Like, job interviews have been going on really well, and all of that. And then, of course, like I said, I've been reading the Darth Vader book. Like, I forgot how nice it was. Like, of course, like the new canon stuff has kind of changed it a little bit. Like, obviously, the technology is too like modern day Phantom Menace and prequel and original trilogy for it to actually be like real. But it's a good time. But yeah, like it's a great little piece of information. But yeah, like it's a good book. I wish he would do more stuff. Like, and I can't wait for them to actually like Drew Karpyshyn. He's a great author. So maybe they're waiting until they actually do Old Republic stuff. And I know they're doing all this High Republic stuff, and it's great. Like, I love the High Republic stuff. Like, I am so ready for January. You have no idea how ready I am for January. But yeah, let's see. Other stuff that's came on. Yeah, like they kind of revealed in the last week or so. I mean, maybe for me, I've found out in the last week or so. Other people, they may have known for a while, but apparently the new Wizarding World game, Hogwarts Legacy, is taking place back in the 1800s, right? It's going to have a morality system, which I think is really interesting. Like, you don't have to be a goody-goody two-shoes wizard. I like that. Like, whenever the game comes out, my wizard's going to be a dark wizard. I know it's not going to be canon or anything, because obviously my dark wizard's going to be the best dark wizard in the world of all time. Yeah, he's going to be a Slytherin or a Ravenclaw, and he's going to be evil, and he's going to zap people with Avada Kedavra, and it's going to be awesome. But, yeah, like, I like that they're going to give you choice instead of it just being a generalized story. But I can't wait to see the Wizarding World and what it's like during that time. And, yeah, like, I am so ready for the rest of What If. I've tried to just, like, chill out. And, yeah, like, I have some really good news that I can talk about in like a few weeks, so that will be good. Life is pretty interesting. Can't wait to, like, hopefully I'll have a job in the next few weeks. That'd be great. So I can do something. If not, kids start back to school Tuesday. My wife goes back to work on Wednesday. So I'm going to be just at the house, which means, guess what? Guess who's going to be reading a lot of books? This guy right here. So if you have any book recommendations, I'm going to finish the Darth Bane trilogy, start the Thrawn trilogy, so I can get up on that Tansis research. You know what I'm saying? Of course you don't. Like, I'm talking to myself right now. But yeah, and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's been really good trying to talk to you guys, pretty much all by myself. But yeah, I'm pretty much done. Like, Batman versus Superman, I love that movie. It's great. The Ultimate Edition is wonderful, but I don't want to talk about it by myself without the rest of the guys here. I can't wait to talk about Collision with Amaru. That's going to be great as well. But yeah, like, it's going to be a short episode. I'm so sorry that it has to be this short. But yeah, there are so many things that, like, this is what happens when you have a plan and the plan falls through and you don't have any guests. That's on me. I should have recorded this like an hour ago. I would have had so many more things to do. But actually, I probably wouldn't have. Oh well. But yeah, I highly recommend. I'm probably going to read the Aragon books again because, you know, Disney, get on that. # Aragon remake. You get on that remake. It's good. Christopher Paolini has said that you guys have an issue because of money and you don't want to make any big projects right now. That's crap. Disney, you're crap. You make all the money. You're already trying to cut out Emma Stone, Scarlett Johansson, and Emily Blunt out of their money. You might as well make the Aragon. # Aragon remake. # Aragon remake. # Aragon remake. Yeah, you hear me? Yeah, you better hear me. All right, I gotta stop. Yeah, it's been a good week. Let's go ahead and cross into that farewell territory. Let's drop that Aragon remake. Disney, get on that. But that's the farewell. 20-minute podcast. Not exactly the best, but hey, I covered everything I wanted to cover. Hopefully next week I'll have some content for the SuperNova Network. There's the YouTube channel, the SuperNova Network. But yeah, farewell. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Colton Roberts 8 and follow the show at Supernova_show. I'm going to be able to start, since my lawsuit is over, I can finally use social media again. So I will probably start tweeting on that a lot more. Yeah, don't forget Facebook Robert at Robert Kastner. Let's see. I think that's all I got to plug. Watch the Schmodown. We got the #1 contender, Amaru Moses. He'll be on the show eventually to talk about Collision. By then, we may know what else is going on. But yeah, like this has been a good show. Pretty short, but hey, short's good. Oh yeah, but yeah, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe on TMG Entertainment. I'm gonna start hosting some matches for TMG Trivia in their Geek division, so that's good. Starting to study for their matches for the Geek for All, and they want me in some like preliminary matches during before the tournament. So like the tournament will be going on, and I'll have the undercard match. I'm cool with that. What's there to lose, right? Plus, I mean, I'm gonna win Geek for All, so I hope. But yeah, like it's a very interesting time, and I'm very glad to be a part of all this situation. But yeah, see you guys next week. Doing the Robert Kastner. Make sure you tip your virtual waitresses. Adios.